So resend is probably the best developer experience you will ever get for sending emails. The API is clean, the docs are beautiful, and React email is really amazing. But amidst all this, I still kind of left. And it was not because they did anything wrong. It was because I looked at this pricing page and I looked at where my app was headed, and I realized I was about to walk into a $20 per month subscription for emails. And when I mean $20, I mean like $20 every month, whether I send 50,000 emails or 4,000. And as an indie developer whose app is getting its first users, I don't think this is the best solution for me. So instead of waiting till I eventually run into this issue, I went looking for a better solution. And in this video, I will show you what I found, why it cost me almost nothing, and I'll walk you through exactly how I set it up in SubTrack. And in case if you don't know what SubTrack is my subscription tracking app for basically keeping track of your different subscription. All right, so let me be fair to resend first, because this is not a hate video at all. Like, I use resend for literally any of my application that has to do with transactional emails. So if I have any product I'm building that requires email, resend is literally my go-to. So even at Central, so in case if you don't know what Central is an events management platform where you can host your event, different kind of event. And it's just if you're watching this from outside Nigeria, you can see it like a Luma alternative. And I believe it's with the features that is on Central is much more better than Luma, to be very, very honest. And we have like a couple of people that come and create their events and share to different persons. And currently we are still using resend, but I'm on the free plan. So that's how much I love resend. So we are currently using the free plan, and I will get into some nitty-gritty on the issues we are having with Central while using resend. But that's just to let you know how much I love resend a lot, because their developer experience is like one of the best, if not the best. You just have to install the SDK, you get your API key, and you send about 5 to 6 or 5 to 10 lines of code. Then you also have React email, which lets you to build your template as components, which is really, really beautiful. And to top it, for my backend as a service, I'm using Convex a lot. So if you're familiar with my channel, you know I really love Convex. And Convex have what we call components. And components are basically pieces of little applications within your Convex app. And Recent have a Recent component from Convex, which even makes the integration much more easier and simpler. And the steps are really, really like shorter. So now you might be asking, if I'm saying these good things about resend, why did I leave, or why am I ditching them? So I have two reasons. The number one is basically the free tier right here. So they give you 3,000 emails per month, which sounds okay until you see the 100 emails cap. So if I go to here, you see it like right here. So they give you 3,000 emails per month, but the daily limit is 100 emails. So even if you are well under 3,000 for the month, one good day where a lot of people sign up, you are kind of like blocked. And in the case of Central, it's not about the sign up process. So for the sign up, we're not using resend for that. But where we have issues is where people registering for an event are more than 100, as you can see right now. And again, there's really no production and staging or development like we have on Convex. So Convex now, I have a development branch when I can do stuff, or rather where I can do stuff that won't be visible in production. So anything I'm doing in my development branch is just for development. Then I have my production where the instances and everything is different. So Resend doesn't have that. So whenever I'm testing on my development, the daily limit is still counting. So you can already see how like little this is even doing. So imagine I'm testing and also people are registering for other events. You can see that we have like quite a couple of events right here. So you get the gist of what I'm saying. In case yours might be like OTP or sending welcome emails, and whenever you have that kind of system set up, you quickly run into this daily limit. And the second reason is just look at what happens when you outgrow the free plan. So basically, from the free plan to the pro plan, there is no like small step. You are just literally going from zero to $20 per month, and it's every month. It's not just a flat fee like you're paying $20 per month. And for this $20 per month, you are given 50,000 emails and a pay as you go plan where you then have to pay in 90 cents for 1,000 more emails. And at my volume, I'll be using less than 10% of this if I eventually want to even pay. I'll be using less than 10%. So my two options were, should I stay on the free plan and pray that I never have a good day where people like start registering for or paying for the pro plan for Central, or I should just pay for a capacity I will never touch, because this is 50,000 emails, and on a good day maybe I might even hit like, let's just say 10,000. So it's as if I'm not really maximizing the $20 per month plan. And I don't know if anybody from the recent team is going to watch this. You guys should just bring a pay as you go plan. Like, I would be really, really excited about that. So moving on, the last reason is basically the biggest one, especially for people watching from Nigeria or anywhere where your income is not in dollars. So dollar subscription in Nigeria is really, really brutal. I don't want to start diving into different models and paying for different subscription and all. So it's not just a $20, it's $20 every month forever, converted at whatever the exchange rate decided to be that month. So before you commit to something like this, you have to be sure that it's really earning its place. For emails, for a bootstrap product, that math is not really like adding up properly. So I did what I think any developer, either like indie developer or developer in general, should do. So I looked for a better alternative to this so I don't have this issue. And so what did I switch to? So I switched to ZeptoMail by Zoho. And before you close this video, yes, I know it doesn't look as, the name doesn't sound as nice as resend. We'll get to that. But just take a look at this pricing model. So you can see that they set this at like from the get-go that they are a pay as you go plan. So there's no subscription, there's no monthly payment, you just buy credit. And one credit gives you 10,000 emails, and each credit is valid for 6 months. What resend would have charged me for like a single month gets me months and months of emails on ZeptoMail, and I only pay when I actually need more. That's the cool thing about it. If SubTrack has, for instance, SubTrack has a slow month, I literally pay nothing. I'm not paying anything. And the cool thing is that your first credit is free. So that's what I'm using right now. Your first credit is free, and that is literally 1,000 free emails to test everything before you spend a single dollar. And the one thing that really stood out for me a lot, apart from the nice pay as you go model, it lets me go to their dashboard or my dashboard. It's the domain management. So with the domain management, you can add like literally multiple domains, and they have something called agents. So on a single agent, I'm not like too vast with this. I'm still doing like a little more digging about this. And I think the concept of the whole thing is called mail agents. Yeah, I think that's the whole concept, where each app or each project gets its own agent with his own API token and his own SMTP credentials. So like in a simpler way to put it, all your project get to live under one account separately, cleanly, and you can see logs as we saw. So if I go to dashboard, I can see logs for each of all this stuff. And if I go to resend, you see that for the free plan you only have access to one domain, so I can only host one domain on my resend, right? And I literally have one domain hosted. I don't want to just like expose that email of that domain, but I just have one domain hosted. So for Zoho, to be honest, you guys already know that I'm really transparent. So for the developer experience, it's not like resend, but at the same time, it's literally not bad as well. So you just need to have like a mental switch, because I said about resend that the developer's experience is really great. Even their dashboard is very, very easy to navigate compared to this. And to be honest, this is not really hard to navigate. Yeah, it's not really hard as well, but it's not as pretty as what Resend has. The documentation is fine, but it's not the beautiful docs experience that Resend gives to you. And there's also no React email styling templating magic. You are mostly sending HTML you build yourself or using their template editor, which is also fine because now we have AI, so you don't necessarily need to read the docs. Although you should read them, like you should read, do a little reading and all, but when it comes to setting it up yourself, it's not really hard because you can give it to all these AI models and they are going to set it up for you. So just point the documentation link, they are going to literally set it up for you without even having issues. So I will show you that as well. Also, something you should keep in mind is ZeptoMail is strictly for transactional emails. So things like OTPs, welcome emails, password, receipts. So you cannot send marketing emails or newsletter from ZeptoMail. So you should keep that in mind. If you do that, it will literally flag your account. And that's actually a good thing though, because it's exactly why their deliverability is so good. And one more thing to know is they review your domain and account when you sign up. So you can see that my domain is yet to be verified. I did this yesterday. So it takes about 2 days, 3 days ish before they like verified. So it's not something that is as instant as what you have on resend. So just keep that in mind. But they have um good customer support to some level, so I had to reach them via X before they could even like the link for SubTrack. So I guess if you've not even go to the actual link, this is the link. The link will be in the description. So I'll leave the link in the description. So in case if you go to the link, this is what you'll be seeing right now, but this is what is literally coming to SubTrack very soon. So it has a light mode and a dark mode as well. So by the time you're watching this video, I might already push this version because I feel this version is more clean and there are more good little like features that I've added. But with the current feature, you are good to like track your subscription. So this might be like annoying. I don't think it will be annoying. Like I said, their customer support is not terrible. But at the same time, you just have to have a little patience. But your domain being like yet to be verified doesn't stop you from sending emails. You can still send emails, just that your domain won't be verified yet. But I'll show you how. The only downside is since your domain is not verified, any email you send is going to land on a spam folder or a spam directory to the people you are sending it to. So the trade is kind of clear and fair because you give up some developer experience and you have a good like pricing model that actually makes sense. And like I said, if this was like 4 years ago, I would still use this, but like I would struggle a bit. It depends. I would struggle a bit with setting it up. But as of now, when I set this up, like I literally didn't even write a single line of code. Like I just copied their docs and gave it to Claude, and basically it just set everything up for me, and I just pasted the API keys, and that was it. So let me just walk you through on how you can set it up for yourself. So first of all, just go to zo.com, then or zepto.zo.com. I'll put the link in the description. Create an account. Then once you create an account, you'll be brought to this dashboard where it's going to tell you to add your domain. So just go to domains, or as an agent, like a mail agent, like I said, but just go to domains, then click on add domain, then enter your domain right here. So if there's an agent for that, you have an agent, you can associate that agent to that domain. So basically, let me add, for now, let me just use Central to test it. So put this one right here and just say add. So, okay, just keep something in mind. When you're adding the domain, make sure you are not adding like this whole stuff here, just the domain name itself. So you can see that the domain has been added. So I have one that is verified, but this one is still pending. So what you then have to do is to then set the DNS record. So if you set your product, so if you set your application on Netlify, Cloudflare, Vercel, or whatever, you just have to copy the DNS record right here and just replace it there. Then click on verify DNS. So as soon as you verify DNS, you should be brought to something like this, but this will be a pop-up mode when it's going to tell you to enter or copy your token, so you can get your token from there. Everything is just going to be there. They're going to still give you the code structure. Now you can set it up. Let me see if I can open their docs. So like I said, the docs is not really that straightforward, as you can see right here. So I just want to just show you the structure of how the code is. Like I said, I didn't even came through all these many parts, but I didn't see the need for that. Okay, so this is what I mean. So is it that you're using Core, Node.js, or whatever? So I think they're supposed to give you an option to select whatever I want to use, but it's fine. So you just copy it. It's going to give you a from to reply, and amidst all this, you'll be given your API key, and it starts with this keyword right here. So in my case, the way I'm using it on SubTrack is if I go to my code now. So first of all, I will go to my pro gates. So I'm using it for the subscription model. So if someone subscribes, I will send them a mail first of all. Then after that, they will be getting, let's go to pricing so you see it. So everything is free. They will get emails alert before renewals. They also have push notifications, trial expire warning. So most of these are going to be transactional emails that are being sent to them when they upgrade to the pro model. So from here, we're triggering, I'm using Puller for international payments and Paystack for local payments. So if I come here, so I'm just checking if whatever payments they select. So if they select Paystack, it's going to just run this init Paystack right here. And this init Paystack is coming from this init, or rather initialize Paystack payment, that's coming from this payment right here. So this is it. Yeah. And I also have one for Polar as well. So as soon as that is being hit and the payment is succeed, so it's going to check via a webhook. So this is the webhook here. So if it succeed, it's going to activate the pro subscription, and the pro is inside the users. So, and it's an internal mutation that runs, so it just changes their field to pro. And let me go to the database so you can see that. So you can see that pro is not true. They give you like a payment reference. Depends on whatever payment provider you use. Then the user that registered for or paid for that plan is really document over because kind of deleted the account, so you don't have to worry about that. Then If I click on that, it's going to run an internal mutation. So internal mutation means it's just running the function inside of Convex. So it's going to just call this send pro welcome email function, and it's still an internal email function. If I click on it, this is where I'm now using ZeptoMail. So I just like store their API on this variable right here. So, and like I said, it's going to give you the authorization, which is very similar to this. Yeah, everything is similar to this here. So authorization, pass this here, then the API key, content type is application JSON, then accepting this as application JSON as well. Then the body is the address. So you can set this to anything. I just set mine to reminders. Then the name is SubTrack. Then the tool is whatever email address that is subscribed or that upgraded to Pro, and the subject, and also the HTML body. So all these are coming from, if I scooch down, from this Zepto send right here, which is this whole thing we just, this whole function. Then the mail itself is coming from this build welcome email. So it depends. It can be this one. So if they subscribe to the SubTrack Pro, they get this email which is being sent to them. And you can see that it's not like, it's still not the best compared to resend, but this is really nice. And like I said, I didn't write all this code. I just prompt Cloud to do all this for me, and it's really, really nice and clean. So basically that's just the whole setup to it. So the process is, once they click on the upgrade, is going to kick in the provider they use, which is going to send a webhook. And as soon as that webhook is sent, it's going to call the Activate Pro. And as it calls the Activate Pro, it's going to now run an internal action that will then send an email to that particular user. So I've removed the recent version, and looking at it right now, the recent version was a bit cumbersome, if I'm to be honest, because I was using the convex component, then I had to come to so I had to come and configure it on the convex config. Then there were a lot of steps, to be honest, but this just happened on literally this line. This is where the whole thing is happening, and just the email templates themselves, where I'm literally creating the different components for the emails. So that's just it. All right, so that being said, I just want to answer a very, very important question. In case if you ask yourself, well, let me just answer that question for you. So who should stay on resend? If you are funded, or your product already makes good money, and your team lives inside React email templates, like when I mean lives, they spend their time on customizing the templates and all, the $20 is literally nothing to you, and the developer experience is really worth it. So in a nutshell, if you are making the money from your application, you should stick to resend $20 per month. So if you send marketing emails, transactional emails, and you want one provider, ZeptoMail can't be that for you. It's only transactional email. But if you are indie developer and someone that just like building products like me, you are just like bootstrapping, and if you are a startup as well, like you have a startup and you are earning mostly in naira or any other currency that suffer against the dollar, and your volume is low, the switch is literally no brainer. So you should just keep your money for things that actually grow your products, things like marketing and all. So you shouldn't spend that on emails. You should only spend $20 per month if you are making a lot of money from your product, or you have investors that are investing. All right, guys, so that's the size of the video. Like I said, Resend has an incredible developer experience, but Zepto has a nice pay as you go pricing that respects where you actually are. So regardless of where you are, it works fine for you. And as at the time of recording this video, SubTrack is rolling fully on ZeptoMail. I'm no longer using Resend. And if you want to see how I'm building SubTrack in public, you can click on the my social media channels, and again I'll be posting more videos on that on this channel, where I'll be breaking down the monetization feature, the pro features I have, and all of that. You just have to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. And if this video saved you $20 a month, the least thing you can do is a subscribe. It's literally free, unlike resend.